This is the Nice Show podcast. I'm host of Nice Wayne, and this is the man who's not in the pits, but he definitely got the tits. It's Brendan. Hey!
Hey, how are we all?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Just what have you got there, sir?
Cheeky little white.
I've got a Budweiser, not a Bud Light, not a Bud Light. I wouldn't be doing that. I don't know what. There's a whole furore about that stuff, but I've got a Budweiser because I do like Budweiser. Well, what do you think of the race?
Wasn't I can't say it's the highlight
that
of
is
the weekend.
exactly. It
Can't
wasn't.
say it's the highlight of the weekend.
Yeah, that long pause says it all, doesn't it? It's like, how many times can we just throw all the ingredients in and still get a dull race?
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean,
I don't know if I like the track. I don't think the track's getting. I don't. Yeah. It's got no bits that places happen. It's got no bits where things happen. It's got one corner that people clip the wall, but they're getting better at it. So there's no incidents, apart from Charles on a Friday.
Yeah, that was a bit of a
Saturday.
shocker. I was in the pub when that happened. I was watching it on the big screen. I was about 5 pints in, so I was pretty jolly. And I was just watching it, and yeah, I couldn't believe. Yeah, but it didn't matter. As it turns out, it doesn't matter. It's a Ferrari, and it's not. And on that note, let's go to good race, bad race.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Steering wheel, somebody tell him to give it to me. Come on, move.
Hey! Okay, right. So, should we start from the back? And Dread Logan Sargent.
Home race.
He's not ready. He's not ready. I just don't think the boy's ready.
Not when Albon's putting it on 14th, 11 in qualifying and 14th in the race. Sorry, mate. You should be doing better than that.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like where Haas was a few years ago.
But should we cut him some slack because he's a rookie?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. I don't know. There's so many old timers that you could just stick in the car now. Or people at the back end of their career, Ricardo, people like that would get the same result.
He wouldn't want to go there, though. He wouldn't want to go there.
I think if he doesn't get a seat next year, that'll be what he'll be looking for, Ricardo. Yeah. If it's not going to pan out at Red
do you
Bull.
think Schumacher would be doing better than him? That's a Mercedes affiliated team.
I think Schumacher will be doing just about the same.
You think? You don't think Schumi would be pushing Alex Albon?
Not really. He didn't really. As soon as K-Mag got into Haas, it was that kind of disparity, isn't it? He's not. Yeah, he's not having a good time, that boy. A Piastri, another one. I think it's new boys.
Well, yeah, because one, they're new, and two, I think it's a bit unfair with Oscar this weekend. Last weekend he was sick. This weekend it was a software issue with his brake-by-wire system. He was fighting a lot of issues on the cars. He's not had a relatively straightforward weekend yet.
Okay, so he's had issues with the car, and McLaren, as we can see by the result anyway, it looks like it's a bit of
when you go
a donkey.
When you go teammate to teammate, he's a lot closer to where last.
Oh yeah, and there's a few times he's been ahead and stuff like that. So Piastri, maybe it's probably wishing he was stayed at Alpine.
Nick De Vries, on the other hand,
he's
on.
He's not going to make the season. The boy's not going to make the season.
You don't think?
I don't think he's going to make the season. There's whispers about it online, but it's clickbait stuff. But I don't think he's going to make the season.
But again, Yuki, 11th, 10th, 11th, right? Mr. Consistency this season, Yuki is.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where the car is. But
so AlphaTauri's not a sister team to Red Bull still, is it? Is it?
yeah.
There's
Kinda.
no
The
Ricardo.
junior team.
Ricardo's not going to slot in there, is he?
I wouldn't think so because the car's a piece of crap, and Franz Tost has said that, and that's why
Wow,
I think he might be
that's
leaving.
a Ratner moment. That's a proper Ratner moment,
Yeah.
isn't it? Remember that? Don't buy any of our stuff. It's awful.
Well, I mean, speaking of Ratner moments, Rossi has just said the same thing about Alpine.
That'd
You
be
know,
weekend, though.
that's more. We'll get to that in pit talk in a minute.
Oh, Norris as well. Yeah, there's no denying Norris is a talent. So it's the car. It's definitely the car.
Definitely the car.
I mean, Norris was streets ahead of Ricardo last year.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely the car. Alfa Romeo started out quite well, didn't they?
Yeah, they were pretty fast over a lap, and then Valtteri showed his experience in getting where he got. But he, in starting where he started, he was in the top 10 to start, wasn't he? He was 10th.
Well, are we seeing a lot of we're really good on one lap cars, but across the race? So I'd say Alpine are a little bit in that camp as well, but across the race they just can't keep up.
Well, they're still relatively new cars. They don't have the data. That's the second race I've had on that track. It's windier than hell there, so it's really hard to set up for it. It is a tricky track. I wouldn't say it was demonstrative of the season.
Yeah,
but I think they should still be doing better. They should be a bit closer. Their one lap performance should be a bit closer to their overall performance, I think. But at the moment, there's still too big a gap. And Mercedes are the same,
Well, we're going to get to those, aren't we? Yeah. But yeah, so we can safely say because of where Norris and Piastri landed, that McLaren is a bad car.
Yeah,
it's a bad car. Logan Sargent, no, it's him. Although Albon didn't finish too much further up the road, but he got himself into positions. He always does.
He was doing well. Yeah,
yeah.
I think he showed himself to be a good little driver.
Yeah, he's showing a lot Mr. Consistency again. A bit like Norris in McLaren. I can still, if you give me the car, I'll put it.
Yeah,
definitely. Joe Guan Yu. Is it the car?
Not too far behind Valtteri.
Bottas. Yeah. It's the same thing. It might be the
7
car.
seconds behind.
Yeah, that looking a lot more like the car as opposed to
the performance.
Yeah, because Joe Guan Yu's he's pretty consistent. Yeah. Nico.
He's not crashing. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's a big thing now with these lower teams. If you're putting it in the wall, it's costing.
Yeah.
People I'd say taking on a Schumacher in a team is that kind of level of risk. You're going to be thinking about that.
Nick de Vries has nearly put it in the wall. I think that's where his experience is shown, in that he's felt the car going, which is his inexperience, but his experience is keeping that out of the wall. He hit the brakes real hard and just kissed the nose into the wall and brought it back and got a new nose on it, which would have been very different if I think it was a less experienced driver.
Yeah, but it's still hitting the wall.
It is, yeah.
You're threading the needle on these street circuits, aren't you? Yeah. So Nico, I thought he climbed quite. Wasn't he in the mix? Did he make Q3? Who made Q3? Or was it K-Mag? K-Mag, that was
K-Mag,
right.
Yeah, because he was 4th. And the Nico Hulkenberg was 12th. He wasn't far away from quali, from Q3. He was 0.2 a second.
Yeah. Oh, so he wasn't that far out. And obviously the quali was compromised by our Leclerc thing. I didn't understand why the red flag. He seemed well off the away from the track where he landed.
Yeah, but it's a street circuit. It's so narrow to get anybody out there.
He was on a runoff area though.
Yeah, but to get how did they get the vehicle to him? Was there extraction point there? Plus, it was 1 minute. I think the red flagged it because it was 1 minute 30 left on the clock, and it was 1 minute. You've got a 1 minute 35 warm up lap before you get to the grid. So
it would have been chaos.
Yeah, they would have been.
To get out, they wouldn't have made it. They wouldn't have made it because that's a racing lap, isn't it? Yeah. Coming out the pits is another 15 seconds or whatever, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
If you take off what you're driving in with, it's an extra 15 seconds, isn't it, really?
Yeah, so they finished the lap. They finished the session rather than red flagging it with a view to any chance of restarting it. They was just like, no, end, I think.
Yeah, because no one would have made it to the line, would they?
No. They were all on fast laps. They were all on their last laps.
Yeah. So Albon good.
Yeah. I think he did a good race.
That
he managed well. He did it, he had a good quali and he did a good race.
That Williams is up there with the Alfa Romeos. I think the Williams is on par with the Alfa Romeo and the Hasses, that Williams. Which is better.
Possibly the Alpha Tauris. I think they're in the Alphas and the
anything with an Alpha in front of it, yeah.
The Alphas and the Williams are together. I think Haas and it's hard to judge where the McLarens are. Are they McLaren? Who's the back marker of the season? Do you think?
What do you mean?
Who's the worst team of the season
so far?
It's been Haas historically, but I wouldn't say.
But if you look at the points of where it's at, and I think is it McLaren? F1 constructors. Let's get it.
McLaren are on 14 points, so they're fifth in the constructors.
Who's got Williams? Have got no points, have they?
No, Williams have got 1 point.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
So it's Williams in 10th, AlphaTauri 9th on 2 points, Alfa Romeo in 6th, Haas in 7th with 8 points, Alpine in 6th with 14 points, McLaren in 5th with 14 points. I think that's based on last year's why they're 5th and 6th. And then Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston and Red Bull.
Who's got no points?
Nobody.
Oh, nobody. Before this race, it was Williams, wasn't it? I'm sure one of them had no points before this race.
No, Williams didn't get points this race.
But okay, so we've done Albon. Bottas, how did he do? Bottas did a solid qualifying, didn't he?
Yeah. And then 13, so not a bad race, in all honesty, given the performance so far.
Yeah. But still, the elusive, top 10 for these teams is quite hard.
I really feel that for Yuki Tsunoda and AlphaTauri. He's 11th, 10th, 11th. You got to feel sorry for him.
Just on the bubble all the time, just waiting for someone to fall off the road, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Yuki Tsunoda's doing a good job for AlphaTauri, really.
Yeah.
He's
in a car that's not really that good, I don't think.
He's carrying his end of the sofa quite well. As opposed to Nick de Vries. I'm telling you, the boy's out. That boy's out by the end of the season, unless he has some miraculous race. It's a Schumacher thing. Schumacher only just got through that season.
Got through to the second season, you mean?
I think so, yeah. By a couple of good performances right near the end.
By good performance, you mean bringing the same car home at the end of the weekend?
Bringing it home, not costing any money. Yeah, not costing any money. But Haas, I think will be disappointed to just have a 10th.
Yeah.
Because Hülkenberg's been a lot stronger this year.
Ocon?
No, we're talking about Haas.
Oh yeah, overall.
Overall in Haas, Hülkenberg has been better than K-Mag. Do you think?
I don't know what the head-to-head are.
I think so. I think K-Mag it's been lucky to finish in front of Hülkenberg most of the season, isn't it? We should have all the results up, shouldn't we, really?
I'll try and find it.
But
is that points or is that? Hang on, where are we?
I don't know. Didn't Hülkenberg put it in the wall during practice? Put it in the wall, didn't he? I think he did. what you're looking at.
That's his race number.
Yeah. So Alpine, where did that come from?
Well, I think they've had a rocket sent by their owner.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that now, or we save that?
I'll get into that, but their performance, what can be said?
It's there. I mean, the performance from last year has dropped massively, so it's in there.
And it's still ahead of McLaren, which everybody will be happy about anyway. That was their main rivals last year, but it's not because they've got better. It's because McLaren has just fallen off a cliff, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, we're beating McLaren, yeah, but look where they that's not who they're fighting now. It's quite strange. Looking at the result, it's not from this race. It's not indicative of where the Alpine have been all season, because
no,
they're the next stop. Apart from, I mean, we can Lance Stroll. He had a bit of a dog of a race, really.
Yeah,
he should be a bit closer to his, but it is Alonso. But he
needs to be closer to his teammate.
You want to
see
finish
the contract. I saw a breakdown of Alonso's contract, an alleged breakdown of Alonso's contract. Driving the car, $2 million per year. Helping developing a winning mentality at Aston Martin, $2 million per year. Being nice to lads, $10 million per year.
Will you just sort this guy out? That's probably what it's like. Lawrence Stroll. My boy's not listening to me. Can you just sort him out? I mean, yeah, he needed a better race this week, didn't he? Really,
but he knows he's solid because Daddy's not going to fire him. Which is half the problem. That the race, are they driven by the fact they might lose a seat? So
there's no jeopardy.
Does that affect them?
It's a positive sum game for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no jeopardy for him because could you fire your son? I mean, it's millions of pounds. Couldn't you reason with your boy and just say, look boy.
We could have had Danny Rick.
Look,
you can go back to Formula 2, win that as much as you want.
Come on, I'll pay. Mum will make you pack lunches. You can just do what you want.
Go to NASCAR. Go to IndyCar.
IndyCar, yeah, it's just round and round. No. Just round and round and round most of the time.
Less strain on your wrists.
Yeah,
just
come on, you know those wrists aren't up to it. Yeah, you can't sack your boy, can you? You can, but that would make Christmas very awkward. What have you been up to, Lance? Oh.
Down the job centre again.
Yeah. Uber.
Could you imagine? Your driver lads will be with you in 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't be taking any money off. He wouldn't be taking any money off for the rent, would he? Wouldn't be taking any money.
He would want a car off Daddy for that, though, wouldn't he?
He'd be the quickest Uber in town. So we don't K-Make. So yeah, these Alpines, line astern, 8th and 9th, not indicative of where they have been this season. But all of a sudden,
Gasly back up there though.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's getting to be an old timer now. This is what we were talking about. A lot of these people that were new 3 or 4 years ago, they're getting their experience. They're what badge would it be in Scouts? Would it be your gold arrow? There's 3 arrows. There's always 3 arrows.
They've not got any excuses of being young anymore, of not knowing any better.
I'm new around here.
Out to mature, Ocon's done that,
Ocon, yeah. And how far? He wasn't that too far behind Gasly as well, so that's not bad for Ocon.
He was 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds, 2.5 seconds.
So Ferrari, Leclerc. I think that's.
For those of you listening on the radio, I just raised my eyebrow in a questionable manner.
I think it wouldn't have mattered the result in his quali. Even if he got pole, that's where he was going to end up, 7th. Or maybe 5th. That's where those boys were going to end up.
Right. In the race, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think?
You think that's how bad the car, or that's where the car is?
I think it's about the other cars.
Put this into context, right? Mercedes are going on about how bad the car is, how bad the team's performing, right? Lewis Hamilton, how bad they are. There's talk about them trying to steal or trying to hire Adrian Newey from Red Bull. That's how desperate they're allegedly getting, right?
Right.
And the best that Ferrari can do is 6th and 7th, 5th and 7th.
Well, what I'm saying is that's where those four are going to end up. No matter where they qualify, those four, Mercedes and Ferrari, no matter where they qualify, they're going to end up there. What do you reckon? I'm pretty sure of it, right? Because when I'm just going to scroll up to the top three: Verstappen, Perez, and Alonso. It's their season.
Is it the Aston Martin car? Is it Alonso?
It's Alonso.
Is it a combination of the two of them.
Well, it's obviously a combination of the two. He's not cycling around the track, is he?
So is Lance Stroll down where he is because he's crappy driving a really good car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alonso's been put in the seat.
Yeah.
World champion, and he's just the experience.
Mate, to be able to drive around the corner, the 11th corner, and go, "Oh, tell Lance that was a good move because you've been watching it on the freaking telly."
The guy is literally in the zone. Yeah, literally the zone of proximity. They call it.
Sunday afternoon drive here.
He can literally watch the race while racing in the race.
Yeah,
he's probably looking at the actual standings.
Yeah,
he's probably got time to quickly go, right, I'm going to look at what tyre is so-and-so on. Zoom. Okay, he's on that.
He had time to recognise his teammate, watch him pull off a move, analyse it, say that was a good move. What position's he in now?
Wowzers. I mean, it's just...
Different level.
And it's a different level. And
it's not the first time he's done it, so it's not a fluke. And it's he's not showing up. He's just doing it because he's bored and whatever.
He's watching it on the telly. He might as well get it beamed into his little screen on his thing. He might as well do that.
Have a heads up on his left eye because his right eye can just do the driving.
Get those VR goggles on, mate. Augmented reality. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm telling you. You might as well have it on his steering wheel and watch it and go, right, I wouldn't have done that. While driving round. The guy is in the form of his life. And he's relaxed. You saw him in the press conference. I'll just sniff the flowers. I mean, how zen is that?
George is whinging about how crappy his car is, and he knows.
And he was literally just going, I'll just.
Fernando's like, oh, what a lovely day this is.
But it's a beautiful day. These beautiful flowers. They weren't tulips, were they? Orchids. Yeah, orchids. He was just like having a feel and having a sniff of the flowers. The guy is in the form of his life. Winning at life. As these millennials would say, blah, blah, can't even say that. He's even really say two Budweiser's in. As these millennials would say, he's winning at life. I mean, at his age, he's in just the sweet spot. He must be just like... It's a shame he can't quite get to the big boys. The 1 and 2, Verstappen and Perez. Now, let's talk about this. Personally, Perez moved over. He didn't... If Perez wants to win this championship, his only option is to squeeze Verstappen. There was one overtake between the two of them, and Perez gave it up.
Do you think?
It didn't squeeze him. Now, you can turn around and say, oh, wow, it's because he knew his tyres didn't have it. That doesn't matter. The Verstappen, that wouldn't matter.
For Defence.
Go on.
The Minister for Defence, Perez was.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Verstappen would... If that was Verstappen-Hamilton and Verstappen's tyres were gone, he's still not going to let Hamilton by without squeezing him, is he?
No. Well, Perez did that to Hamilton. He held Hamilton up for a couple of laps.
Oh, yeah. In that... The first championship that
Perez
but that was doing him a favour. But this is in the team.
He's got it in him. He's got it in him to fight.
He's got it in, but he's not got. got it in him to go against the team.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So when the team says just don't hit each other, he's taken that literally. He did not put up. He could have. When he got to that, before he got to, he didn't sweep across before and block him. He didn't block him.
No,
he didn't even try.
He didn't let him through, I think.
And he could say, well, he would have got past me anyway. You can't have that attitude, I don't think. You just cannot. That, my friend, is not a winning attitude.
No.
So, and if Perez wants this championship, he's got to go against the team and put Verstappen in a position where it's either I pull out of this move or I'm crashing. That's it now for Perez, because he hasn't got the legs on him, has he?
Well, why not? What's the difference between the cars?
That tyre conversation, for once, that hard tyre worked.
Yeah.
And Verstappen had it working beautifully. He was beating the lap record.
He was better to start it further back, because if he'd been on pole, he'd have been on the softer tyre, the medium tyre, to get the grip off the front line, off the line, you know.
If Perez wants this, those team orders of you do not touch, it's got to go out the window. Perez has got to just. I mean, if you look in the past,
get elbows out.
What literally like the Weber Vettel stuff. If you watch those past videos, those two, they're probably best mates now. But those two, Vettel didn't care even when the team just said to him, "Multi 21, Seb."
Yeah,
he just, I know, I want the win. I think Perez, that's his only option now. Playing the team game, it's not a winner. And Verstappen, again, we were promised closer racing with these new cars, weren't we?
Yeah. Are we getting it?
No. Well, we are and not. I don't know. We didn't get even like the rest of the field, not much overtaking. It was all undercut, undercut. And Red Bull's just driving around everybody. You know, like when you're playing a computer game and you set the settings to easy. That's what it must be like to drive a Red Bull. Have you ever played that like on a racing game? I'll go easy, no damage. And you go to Monaco and you just barge everybody, just drive around everybody, and before you know it, you're 2 minutes ahead near the end.
I'm just watching the Verstappen overtake again. He's catching him on the straight on the first straight, coming into the first corner.
Yeah.
And Verstappen is ahead of him going into the first corner on the outside.
Yeah.
And he just goes through faster in the corner.
But he didn't even move to threaten Verstappen.
He came over to try and block him, but there's only so much you can do.
You could do a little twitch.
Yeah.
You're allowed one move. That one move could be a little twitch to the left.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Hamilton and Verstappen were doing that all the time on each other. Like when they were at it. Filthy animals. But yeah. But he didn't.
No, he didn't put any effort in there.
Now, you could argue he was aiming at that corner and thinking, well, I've got the corner, the apex. I'm going to come out ahead. But he knew. He knows. Yeah. He knows that DRS. Do you know what I mean? So he knew. I think Perez has got to go against the team. They're not going to give him the best advice anyway, I don't think. That team's already Verstappen's. So he's got to get... Personally, I think Perez is out anyway next year. I don't think... I think they'll swap him out.
For who?
Why not? Why not when you've got Ricciardo in the stable and there's a team? And now you could say, oh, yeah, but he's not been in the car for a while. But if you've got Max Verstappen, we know we're going to win the championship. Why not roll the dice on Ricciardo? Perez is, he's doing the job, but so could... I reckon Ricciardo would be up there.
Danny Rick wants to challenge for a championship, right? Perez is in the perfect position.
Danny Rick would challenge Verstappen. They didn't get on
go against team rules.
Yeah.
He's going to be watching what's happening to Perez and going, I don't want to be tied. I don't want to be tied down like Perez is being tied down at the moment.
He'd go against Ricciardo would go against it. He's been out of the seat for a year. It's his only chance. If Ricciardo gets back in the seat, he's got 1 year. That will be it.
In a top team like that.
Yeah. And this is what Perez's mentality is. This is it for him. It's not, you know.
Why didn't he do that then?
Why doesn't he? I don't know. That's the point. What's going on? A little twitch to the left would have spooked Verstappen off his line just a little bit. He's putting up no challenge to it. Is he? What do you reckon? You don't reckon so? What's your opinion? You think he's playing the longer game?
I reckon he knew in that moment that his tyres were in the bin. Verstappen's got new tyres on, and there's no point in fighting him because he's going to get past them no matter what.
It's not about the win though, is it?
It's about the long game, like you said. It's better to get 18 points for second than no points for in the wall or a 5-second penalty and end.
Verstappen would put him in the wall. Would put him in the wall for a win, right? It's about showing Verstappen you've got some balls. That you're not just going to give it up, lay down. And he ain't going to do it.
Okay, we'll wait and see.
This is almost like a pep talk to Perez. It's turned into.
All right, we need to hashtag Sergio in this one.
Can you get your testicles out for once?
Your cojones, mijo.
For the love of God, a little twitch to the left would have been. It didn't matter if you won it. Just showing him, hey, look, I'll put you in. I'll put you off. I'll squeeze you because all they do is bitch about. You didn't give me room, like Verstappen, little tiny tears, Verstappen all the time, you know. And I just thought, he could have just.
Or braked a little bit late.
Or braked a bit late, or just running, or just like he had the apex, just gone straight on a bit too much, running wide. Rosberg would do it.
Had no grip.
Oh yeah, whoopsie. I braked a bit late, a little bit of a lock up, running wide, push him off the track. He's off the track. His tyres dirty. 2 more laps. But more importantly, you're showing him you ain't no pushover for the team. Yeah. You want this win. Monaco's the deciding date for them. Monaco.
Again.
I'm gonna make my tin-foil hat for it. I reckon Monaco's probably a benchmark race for a lot of the teams. Who's going to get the develop? Okay, let's go. That's the end of good race, bad race. We've done that.
All right.
I think I've lectured poor old Perez enough about laying his testicles out there. So let's go to pit talk.
Pit talk. Just me doing that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, pit talk. Tell me what you want to tell me about pit talk. Tell me, do you know anything about these miraculous Mercedes updates that never quite deliver? Oh, they've got updates. What? Yeah, but everyone else is updating as well.
Yeah, but they make a big thing about these Mercedes updates. And did they have updates? This side pod thing?
I mean, the side pods were there last week, but the last Grand Prix, but it's not the side pods. I don't think it's the problem. I think it's a combination of everything. It's
the car.
Yeah, there's a couple of aerodynamic guru people that I follow on Instagram, and they were showing, they show the Red Bull front wing for this Grand Prix and for the previous Grand Prix. The Ferrari front wing for this Grand Prix and the last Grand Prix. And they show you the differences, how they're changing it and all that kind of stuff.
Who is that dude who does those drawings? They're beautiful.
Yeah, but there's nothing about Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing about Mercedes. There's pictures showing the heights and this and that, and the gap and the shape and the low downforce wing and the high down, and nothing about Mercedes.
Really?
So
because Ferrari changed their rear.
I don't trust anything they say.
Ferrari changed something on their rear wing, didn't they? Their
DRS thing. They changed the floor shape and that kind of stuff. And they changed the shape of the front wing and little tweaks that you'd imagine for in-season upgrades, but didn't see anything for Mercedes. I might be wrong. Feel free to send stuff in if you've seen it, but I might be wrong. But I couldn't see any.
But there's now. Oh, we've got some upgrades coming.
For Imola, apparently, yeah.
The side pod thing. What's the side? What is They had side pods and they were still rubbish, basically.
Yeah.
The whole argument about the no side pod design thrown out the window. They stuck side pods on the thing and it's still nowhere near.
But the side pods weren't the issue. It was one of a lot of issues. It was the most visible one,
right?
But it wasn't the entire issue.
Well, what's the invisible ones?
Well, I think the thing that Hamilton's moaned about now is the seat position is too far forward, which affects the whole balance of the car.
When it comes to like those kind of fundamentals, he's said for a long time, I just don't feel at one with the car. Now, when we talk about Alonso, who's driving around watching the telly, that's a man who is at one with the machine, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
Oh, I can watch the telly while I'm driving around. I don't even have to. And Hamilton's been saying, I just don't feel like I'm at one with this car.
Yeah.
And it's work, which is another bit of your cognitive ability being used on, like you say, the seat, worrying that is being wasted, which is being used by Alonso to watch telly.
I was wondering how much of an issue it was. And then I watched a bus driver coming around the corner at a set of traffic lights.
Yeah.
Single decker, and the driver sits in front of the front wheels.
Yeah.
And you watch them, and they drive the vehicle in a completely different way because the wheels further back, and that's what Hamilton said. It's like sitting in your regular saloon car, and comparing it to sitting in front of a bus wheel, and that you have to envision where the car steers and turns from in a totally different way.
But regulation-wise, how much far forward is he? Because you can't.
He's a good 3 or 4 inches, I think.
Which makes all the difference, as we know, ladies. But that's so childish. Yeah. So that's not a big fix. That's a big fix then. Not an easy fix. That's what I wanted to say. Not an
that's
easy.
Changing the concept of the car.
Just
because that
4 inches.
That affects where the engine is, where everything is, where the cowling starts, the size of the engine bay, how long the output shaft is from the engine to the gearbox, or to the differentials at the back. It's massive.
I don't know. I feel for him a little bit, but then they still finish there.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's still not a bad day at the office. They're in the points. Hamilton had a bit of a dog of a race, but he still clambered his way back to next to the Ferraris. What about Ferrari? What's going on there? Science.
And George Russell is outperforming Hamilton as well as something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah. Is he beating him in every race this year so far?
He's doing a lot better than him.
Should we quit? Wait a minute, I can hear our friend.
Is it Murray already?
Yeah, it's a Murray already. We'll get back to this George Russell Hamilton thing, which probably is not a lot, but we'll get back to it after we have a little message from Murray. He's up there. Yeah, look up. He's up there.
Attack! Incredible!
Thank you, Murray. You were saying about Mercedes.
I
think we run that. Go on. We did really.
Hamilton's currently 56 points, and George is on 40 points. So it's not quite as. I suppose Hamilton's at a podium, hasn't he?
Yeah. But
yeah. Okay. Maybe we should look into
maybe we should do research. That's what you're saying, basically. Let's do some research. Yeah, I think they seem very evenly matched. They do seem very evenly matched, but I do think Russell might have the edge on Hamilton in this car.
Yeah.
Sticking with a 2008 McLaren, on the other hand, those were the days. Hamilton just dropped in that team on his rookie year and just could have won the championship. Unbelievable.
For those of you who
are
new,
that was a little burp there. Too many
This is
Budweisers.
Wayne's heritage statement. Heritage segment.
This is the bit where we go.
Yeah, this is his heritage segment where he talks about things that were in black and white.
Chariot races. That's bring back those days.
I'm Spartacus.
Bring back those days. The engines? What are you talking about? Oh,
Bring back the spikes on the wheels.
Yeah, that's where.
So, other things that were going on in the paddock this week.
There was a little bit. Can I just mention
Did
this?
you see that? The driver intros? Can we talk about that?
Well, no, you can talk about it in a minute, but I just want to point out that not everybody who walks across the pit lane now is a terrifying incident. There was a clip of Norris coming into the pits.
Yeah.
And it come out another near miss. Right? Now, people do walk across the pit lane that work there, know the speeds of the cars, and have autonomy not to stand in front of them. Now, if you go back, here we go again, to whatever, to the 80s, it was pandemonium, literally, and still no one got hurt, really.
Yeah. Except
people did get hurt. But anyway, so let's not, I know that Ocon thing, the race before, that was wrong and it was dangerous.
Yeah.
But we can't get too over safety conscious. This is my point. Please go on.
Did you see the driver introductions?
No.
Oh, man.
I think I caught some of it.
Awful. And everybody said so. Everyone's saying that it was just horrific.
Who was
awful.
calling them
The only
out?
person-
There was a guy calling them out.
LL Cool J.
Yeah, I knew it was someone vaguely famous.
And Will.i.am was conducting the
Who
orchestra, the 24
Ted
piece
thinks
orchestra.
is the same as Wycliffe Jean. I don't know why, but
Yeah, well,
Ted
Will.i.am,
Kravitz.
you know.
two different people.
His conducting was my nephew, has a conducting game on the Oculus, and I think at the end of that you would know more and be able to conduct that orchestra in a more musical manner than Will.i.am.
One second. I had an Oculus. There's a conducting game on it.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, I used to have an Oculus. Now, what's the Facebook one? Is it an Oculus?
Yeah, Quest 2.
Yeah, I had the Quest 2, which is remarkably addictive. I was fishing once and I took it off and it was 2 a.m. and I thought I really should go to work tomorrow. I was fishing on some lake. VR is amazing. VR is amazing. So, and I have conducted an orchestra because I've got a music degree, people. Yeah, not just a pretty face. Well, I'm not that either.
Not even that.
Hey! But there's a conducting game. Like, it's almost like, remember the rock star on the place?
Chopsticks. You need a chopstick.
I've got conducting sticks.
Yeah, a baton, I think it's called.
35 grand's worth of musical education. Still paying it. And I just got, dunked on by someone. Go on, anyway.
You need to watch Will.i.am conducting. It was painful.
The temptation to call him William to his face would be way too much.
Yeah. But nobody enjoyed it except Lewis Hamilton and nobody else. Yuki kind of looked like but Yuki was just excited to be outside. Yeah, Yuki. But yeah, it was painful. It was
camera padding over his head, or was that juggle on you? One of the two. But where is he? Hello! Jumping up and down. Anyway, yeah.
It was terrific, and everybody's slagging it off. It took way too long. None of the drivers really are big fans of it. They're all vocally against it, except I found a clip of it's Max Verstappen was talking when Alonso's in the background.
It was Max. I thought it was Ocon or someone like that. Sniffing the flowers. You would be if you're Alonso, mate. I'm telling you, the guy is crushing.
But the conductor.
Can you hear the jealousy? Can you hear the jealousy?
Yeah, can we get back to the point at hand here?
The point at hand.
The conducting was painful, and the descriptions, royalty, Sir Lewis Hamilton, that doesn't make him royalty. It was just too American, and it was cringeworthy. Even the American F1 fans were saying it was cringeworthy.
Well, yeah, because your average American is actually really smart. It is. It's the way it is. I mean, Americans watch British TV and probably think we have all got bad teeth, but they think that's Britain. They think that's Britain, don't they? And actually, when you pop into the chats on YouTube or something like that, you suddenly realize, no, the Americans are just like us, I do love it. I do like America, though. I like the idea that they're cringe. I like the idea that there's no harbour in this circuit, so let's make a fake one. I mean, I just like that.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but
I do think they've finally broken America. F1 has finally broken America. I do.
Broken through in America.
Well, no, it's like a band trying to break America. Don't correct my grammar. How many races are in America now? Is it two? You've got two. Is it 2 or 3 races in America this year?
3 this year.
3.
Yeah.
It's on the way to actually breaking America. Because
Breaking through in America.
please. Okay. So you were saying.
Other things in the news this week, Alpine CEO Laurent Rossi says that there'll be consequences if the F1 team do not improve the form. He said that Otmar Safnauer is personally responsible for their lack of form, and will be held responsible.
Personally responsible.
Yeah, him and
I
his
suppose if
team.
you follow the chain of command, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean he's not pulling any punches. He's stating the fact, and I think Otmar's aware of that, but I think he's got a plan.
What is that plan?
Leave
the team and join another team?
Yeah, keep doing it. Drive them into ground bounce to the next one. Drive them to ground bounce to the next one.
Yeah. What's the plan, Otmar?
Yeah, so he responded a little bit.
Was it spicy? Please be spicy. I'm kind of like, who's the new team principal of Ferrari? Who looks a little bit like he's got a frog kind of look to him.
Fred Vasseur.
I like his style. There was an interview with him in the last race, and he was wearing a girdle. Did you see this interview?
No.
He's wearing a girdle round his tummy. Maybe he's got back problems. Maybe, I don't know. And someone said, oh, and he said something about the food, and he lifted his t-shirt up, and he had this girdle on. I like someone who doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't. He really doesn't.
Maybe that's part of the problem in Ferrari.
In the first interview, he said he was like one of the first official interviews was, what are the main things you're going to change? What are the things you're not going to change? Can you tell us about any of them? And he says, there's one thing I can tell you that's not going to change, and that's the color of the car. It's going to be red.
Good. Let's have an experiment with that all yellow outfit they had.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What were they thinking?
Yeah, so Otmar was nothing punchy. He's like, yeah, I saw that it was written. He saw the headline, but it's not putting any pressure on them. They know that they underperformed. They know that there was issues in Australia, but they've just got to get into the groove. They know what the issues are, and they're trying to fix them.
That's the biggest non-answer I've ever heard in my life.
What do you want them to say?
Yeah, I suppose. I've had 2 Budweisers. Just slow down. Don't put me on the spot. I'm not the team principal of Alpine. I mean, what?
Did you?
You could. That's a technically that's just called word salad, isn't it? Just put loads of positive words. We're working on it. We know. We are aware of problems. We don't feel pressure. That's always a good one. We don't feel pressure. We feed off pressure. Go on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did you see the grid walk with Martin Brundle?
I saw Martin Brundle. Was it?
Did you see the end of it? Did you see the Jackie Stewart? Roger?
Yeah, Jackie Stewart. How old is Jackie Stewart?
He's 80 something, isn't he?
That guy is still on it, isn't he?
83. And he's just like, oh yeah, we've got to get Roger over to Martin. Come on, Roger, let's go.
If ever there's a Formula 1 driver with integrity, it's Jackie Stewart. I really respect the guy for what he did for the sport. And if you watch, have you ever watched that that documentary I sent you a couple of years ago? Wasn't it? It was the Killer Years or something like that, and they interviewed him.
Right.
I'd have to find it on DVD, Divida, if they still do DVDs. Do they still do DVDs? Is it not all just beamed into our heads now by AI? It will be. Anyway, I'll I'll find it and how he changed the safety, and it's heartbreaking because I've done it again. I've gone into nostalgia, haven't I?
Yep.
Any more news, or should we go and add up our totals here?
Let's add up the totals.
We haven't got a race this weekend, have we?
No.
Okay, so we don't have to do our which is pretty good because we've got about 6 or 7 minutes. Okay, let's go to predictions.
I'm ready to write it. Write it.
Okay, let's get the predictions up. Let's see what's going on. I'm a bit more organised this year with predictions. I like to think. Oh yeah, I give titles to the documents. That's it.
Oh,
that's as far as a teacher, professional
progress.
teacher. That's progress for me. Let's just and then we click on it. It doesn't open. Right. Let's just go cool. Come on, I've clicked you once. Don't make me click you again. Oh, here we go. Come on. Okay, let's go full screen for this. Where is it? Okay. This is just going to be a nightmare, isn't it? But we're only adding up. We're not moving things around, typing things out. I'm not going to be doing that. Okay, let's go. Focus.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is an improvement on last year.
Tell us about the next race. We can talk about the next race. Where is the next race?
In a little place called Imola.
Imola. Isn't it? It's not the Roman ragu.
Yeah.
Ragu, pasta carbonara.
Yeah. It's the pasta carbonara.
Hang on.
It's the Qatar Airways. Here we go. Full name. Qatar. Oh Jesus! It's on 2 lines. Formula One Qatar Airways Gran Premio del Made in Italy del Emilia Romagna.
Oh, for crying out loud! Can't they just call it the track and that's it? What is it with these people? Okay. And that's in Italy. It's another Italian Grand Prix, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've had an old tough day there, haven't you, mate? You've had a few yawns, mate, haven't you? Okay. I'm only 5 points behind that.
So the circuit stats are we going to do this now?
Yeah, give us those stats. I want to hear about them. It's Imola.
Imola.
Do you think it's because of the Ayrton Senna thing? Is that where he died, Imola? Or was it San Marino? I keep interrupting, don't I? That's... Every time you open your mouth, there's this gob just going off. I'm sorry.
All right, let's do the results.
No, go on. What are you saying, Imola? Go on. Tell us about this track.
The first Grand Prix was 1980. 63 laps this year of a circuit that is 4.909 kilometers long. Gives us a race distance of 309 kilometers and 49 meters. The lap record is held by Lewis Hamilton in a time of 1 minute 15 and 4.84.
Okay, you spoiled the guessing game for the lap time there. Okay,
I will do it next week, and you can pretend you've forgotten.
I probably will forget. Oh, we were way out with the lap times, I think. Right, okay. What was the fastest lap from the race previous?
The fastest lap was held by Max Verstappen at 1:29.708.
Okay, so you don't get anything for pole. Who was pole? It was Perez. You don't get anything for pole.
Pole was Sergio Perez.
Fastest lap was Russell. You don't get anything for that. But you do get 1 point for the getting closest to fastest lap.
Right.
Okay, well done. So our winner was Max Verstappen, and you
Winner
didn't
was
get that.
Max.
Yeah, winner was Max. So you get 1 point for Perez because he came second. Leclerc, he was in the top 10, so you get a point.
Yep.
You get 2 points from our friend Alonso.
Yep.
You get, where did Science finish up?
Thanks,
You get
fifth.
1 point. 1 point for Verstappen. Hammy, top 10. Where did he come in top 10?
6th.
You jammy git. Stroll, no, he was out the top 10, wasn't he?
Yeah, Stroll was 12th.
Russell, you get 1 point.
4th.
No Norris. Gasly, you get a point as well, don't you?
Gasly was 8th, yeah.
You jammy git.
Hey!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You get 11. 39 plus 11 is 50. You're on 50. Look at that. It's a big 5-0, buddy. Are you past that point in your life now? The big five?
I've just turned it. I am at the moment.
I will be soon. Don't worry. I'm not far behind. Not far on the points. Not far on the age. Okay, Perez 1 point. Verstappen 1 point.
Are you going to do the pole sitter in the lap time?
Well, I didn't get it. You literally just.
All right. So yeah, nothing there.
Nothing. We already established. And Niete. Okay. Alonso 2 points.
2 points.
1 point for Leclerc. Stroll nothing. God damn it! Seems like we were really a bit close here. Science 1. Where did Science come? 4th. 5th. Oh, Stroll, what are you doing there? 1 point. The GOAT 1 point. Russell, I get a point. No, yeah, I get a point. Yeah, I thought I'd get 2. I thought I got 2 points because it was in the same position as yours. Magnussen, I get a point. Nothing for Albon. Okay, let's have the points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 43. You know what?
Creeping ahead.
I'd willingly give up these points to be 43 again, to be honest. Just being honest. Yeah, you're 7 points ahead. That's a good race result ahead, isn't it, for you? Do you think?
That was quite good. Yep, 11.
Yeah, you got lucky there. We both Alonso's just a solid. I think that Alonso in third is a solid. We got to do that every time now because he is the best of the rest, isn't he? Alonso. Yeah. Alonso is third in the. I think we could safely say he's going to be third in the championship already. Dare I say? What number race are we on?
That was the 5th race, I think.
Yeah, he's third in the championship. There's no way. Yeah, we could look. You could almost make a prediction now for the top 5, 6 in the championship. I reckon you've got enough info.
I think the top 3 are locked in.
Yeah, these
I think there's still possibility of Perez and Verstappen getting closer, and I don't know how much chance.
These are your top 3
Perez.
in the championship, but it's just between these two, isn't it? This one and this one. Look at me.
That's Perez and Verstappen. Do you remember that the majority of people listen to this without any pictures?
Sorry, people. I'm just drawing teacher mode. I'm just drawing on the pictures of Perez and Verstappen. If you pop along to YouTube, you can see a live all-action video of us doing these predictions. Believe me, it's riveting.
It's even more tedious than listening to it on its own.
If you're still here, what are you doing with your life? I'm being serious.
Somebody let us know if you make it this far.
Have you put it on in your car? You've put it on in your car and you've dropped your phone. And, and you're just desperately trying to reach over. You can do it. Don't worry.
Is in the gap between the chair and the middle bit. You can't get your hand down, but your phone
just can't quite.
Perfectly.
You can't quite, but you can do it. You can do it. You can reach. Don't worry about the fact that it's raining. You're tired. I know you're tired.
And your Bluetooth's connected,
and you're locked in.
Urging us out.
It's either us or Magic Radio or some. BBC. Oh, we've had it. We're doomed. We're doomed. This guy would rather crash. Someone would rather crash the car to turn us off. That's a terrible indictment on our own podcast right at the end of the podcast. But we are out of time, sir.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, that's it. We've done the hour. So let me stop sharing the screen. because no one wants to see that anymore, and you can't see it anyway in your car while it's raining.
No.
And you're trying to reach down there. Kids asleep. Anyway, that has been the F1 Show podcast.
Right.
I've been the host, Most Wayne. You've been the man in the pits with the tits, Brendan.
Thank you
And
very
we
much.
will see you next week. Next week, isn't it? Next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone, give us a shout, like, subscribe,
Like
comment.
and subscribe. Send us an email to say that you made it home all right. Just an
I'll
email.
send us
to
a
say-
picture of the crash. Bye.
Bye. Bye. All right, but don't call us. Don't blame us. All right. Speak to you later. Bye.